Powered by the Montana Television Network. This is the 5:30 News on Q2, Montana's news leader.
Good evening. I'm Russ Riesinger. Thanks for joining us. The weekend is here and there's a lot happening in the Magic City, including the 5th annual Ox Fest. This is a live look right now as the fun is about to start. Red Ox Manufacturing has developed this lot to improve the quality of life in our urban core, providing a comfortable outdoor space for events like concerts and fundraisers, all part of the revitalization efforts on Billings East Side. Well, the hope is that the new event center will become a hub for social activities in the greater Billings area. Q2 Zoe Zandor is at the Ox Fest now to set the stage. Zoe?
Yeah, I'm out at the Ox Fest 5. It's just kicking off, and it is, as you said, owned by Ox Fest Manufacturing. And for those of you who don't know, that's a company that makes luggage and sporting gear. They make it in America, and they distribute it worldwide. And they originally thought they were going to be building the factory right here on this 2 acres of land, and they ended up building it somewhere else, which stuck the owners with 2 acres of land to have fun with. And after 5 years, they came up with this, which pretty much feels like a big kid's playground. It's absolutely stunning with repurposed steel that they used. They got artistic, and it really lends itself to being a staple here as the urban renewal district here in the east side in Billings.
You only have, Montana seems like it has a lot of land, but you know, the valley's only so big. We're right up against the rims here and the river's over there. We're going to run out of space before we know it. So redeveloping your urban core is crucial to small business.
6 years ago, eBird, or the East Billings Urban Renewal District, proposed to change the zoning code for East Billings before City Council from a controlled industrial code to a form-based. And after providing studies and examples, the code change was approved. A plot of land sitting in the designated East Billings Urban Renewal District, the Red Ox property has welded itself onto nearly 2 acres of land using industrial art by using and repurposing steel from Pacific Steel.
We purchased all this property to put our factory on, but instead we bought another building that was existing and remodeled it and renewed it, and that left us with a bunch of land.
Jim Markle, the owner of Red Ox, says the area has developed in a way he didn't even imagine.
Yeah, we've been reusing all this stuff to basically save some of it, because it's like some of the cast iron parts won't be made again. I have a coal-fired plant here. It's no longer here. So once that disappears, that stuff gets scrapped up. Some of that infrastructure is pretty neat looking. It's almost artistic.
Markle getting artistic himself with the use of the land and has now set the stage for a multi-use venue in the Red Ox's annual event, the Ox Fest.
We started having an Ox Fest about 5 years ago, and this will be Ox Fest 5. So we've decided to build an event center down here and have, like on the weekends, so you can have outdoor concert venue.
And with the new improvements of the land, the Red Ox's lawn alone can host up to 600 people.
Being an entrepreneur, you look for a low cost of operating, right? So you come down to the blighted neighborhoods and then you invest in them and you build them up. So for this, it's like, you know, how could you mess it up, right? It's just it was ugly before, so planting a few trees and some grass, how could you go wrong?
Yeah, they definitely didn't mess it up. They did an absolutely stunning job. As you saw, I got to get a little behind the scenes tour, and if you have time, come on down. The Ox Fest is 2 days long. It goes all night tonight, but tomorrow is free, and it's from 6 to 11. There's nearly 20 food trucks, and it's going to be a really good time and absolutely gorgeous weather. What else could you ask for, Russ?
Sounds good. Thank you, Zoe. And if you need to work off all that food and fun from the Ox Fest, there are a lot of things to get you moving this weekend. Starting tomorrow night, we've got the United Love Glow Run at Pioneer Park. That race starts at 7 p.m., raises money for United Love, a local nonprofit that donates iPads to hospitals and treatment centers. Then on Sunday, the all-day Montana Marathon will start in Molt and end at Pioneer Park. The Montana Marathon is also a Boston Marathon qualifier. And also on Sunday is the Out of the Darkness Walk at Veterans Park, which is a suicide awareness and prevention event. That walk starts at 2 in the afternoon. It is open to the public and registration is free. All right, we're all glad to see the weekend finally get here. And as far as the weather goes, Bob, it looks like it is certainly going to cooperate.
You know, if you had to pick one particular weekend for all these events, this is the one you would want. Let me show you what's going to happen. It's time for our weather forecast for the weekend. And check this out. Yeah, if you're poolside, it's going to be great for that as well. But take a look here. On Saturday, it looks like the weather's going to be pretty nice, about 82 degrees, sunny and warm. Below that night, about 55 degrees. On Sunday, we've had to bump it up a little bit, getting up to 90 degrees, mostly sunny. I think it's going to be borderline hot. The low that night will be 57 degrees, and even on, and if you extend this into Monday, we're still looking at temperatures staying into the 90s, but then a new cold front moves through after that, and we roll it back into the 70s, but we'll have more about that coming your way in a few more minutes. Russ?
All right, thank you, Bob. Well, downtown Billings taking a step towards being more dog-friendly. Earlier this week, some AstroTurf and paint was added to a fire hydrant at North 29th and 2nd Avenue North. The Downtown Billings Alliance and the Business Improvement District worked to make the hydrant more attractive to our four-legged friends, and Toad and Willow Interior Design painted the hydrant to look like a Dalmatian. Later, the groups will add dog waste bags to the hydrant. Well, phase 2 of a dog-friendly downtown will convert another hydrant at Broadway and 2nd Avenue North. Well, many factors go into a successful business, including how to get people to invest in a company. This week, startup business owners met with mentors who can help them get through some of those early challenges. The entrepreneurs won a regional competition for a chance to learn this week at the statewide Hyper Accelerator. Early Stage Montana from Bozeman hosted the event along with Big Sky Economic Development. The idea is to shorten the amount of time of getting through the different stages of getting that company going and learn from those with experience. Potential investors look at many things, including the people and the big idea.
To simply be able to clearly articulate why what they're working on is such a big idea, what problem they're solving, who really cares about the problem, how they're solving it, and then what are the implications of being able to solve the problem. Those are some of the really key things that we're working with these companies on.
So many different components that it's impossible for you to be the master of all those things. And so by connecting with mentors that have experience in all those different industries, then you can start to put together a plan that actually will work.
The competition finishes with a chance to pitch the proposal to investors in Missoula on November 7th. Well, there's a new parking garage at Bozeman Yellowstone International Airport. It's the first airport garage in the state, and at 4 stories high, it's also the largest garage in Montana. Rental car companies will take up a majority of the 1,100 parking spots, with 100 spaces reserved for paid parking. Total price tag for the new garage is around $30 million, but airport staff says it is worth it. And more stupidity on display at our nation's oldest national park. 2 men caught walking dangerously close to Old Faithful Geyser. Yellowstone National Park officials confirmed to MTN the incident happened on Tuesday. Information on the identity of the 2 men is still unknown at this time. Both men will appear in court in December, charged with thermal trespassing. We'll update you on this story just as soon as more details do come out. There's more news from across our state tonight. A mountain lion sighting near the M Trail in Bozeman leads to the question of what one should do if they ever encounter a big cat. We'll have those answers and more on the MTN News at 9 on the CW. But first, still to come on tonight's 5:30 News, Montana settling alongside multiple other states in a lawsuit in the nation's opioid crisis. We'll look at the details in that. And later in sports, your Cats and Grizz are on the road tomorrow. Scott checks in with both those teams just ahead.
You're watching MTN News with Janelle Slade and Russ Riesinger. Storm Tracker weather with Bob McGuire. And sports with Scott Green. This is the 5:30 News on Q2, Montana's news leader.